My name is Ashley, I'm 72 years old, and until recently, I believed there was no heartbreak deeper than losing my husband. But I was wrong. Because nothing, cuts deeper than being erased by the child you brought into this world. This is the story of how I was pushed out, humiliated, discarded. And how I rose from their cruelty and delivered a revenge they never saw coming. It was a damp Wednesday morning when my phone buzzed. I was stirring oatmeal, watching the rain slide down the kitchen window. I thought it was another forwarded joke from my son, Michael. Instead, I saw a notification so cold, so calculated, my hands began to shake before I even opened it. It read, "We've agreed you're no longer part of the family. Don't come to any gatherings. Don't contact us." At first, I thought had been hacked. But then I noticed the tiny detail that shattered me. He had added his wife, his 2 adult daughters, and his son-in-law to the message. They all saw it. They all left it on read. I stood in my kitchen, staring at the words, my chest tightening until I had to grab the counter to steady myself. This wasn't a mistake. This was a decision. My son, my only child, had formally banished me. And for weeks, I didn't know why. But I was going to find out. And when I did, I promised myself I would not go quietly. Let me tell you something about aging nobody prepares you for. You don't suddenly get weak. But people suddenly treat you as if you are. I raised Michael alone after my husband died when he was 10. Worked 2 jobs. Sold my jewelry to pay for his university. Helped him buy his first home. Paid for his wedding when his wife's family forgot their contribution. I did everything. So when he pulled away over the years, I told myself, it's just life. Kids get busy. But things shifted drastically when he married Rachel. She had a smile like a magazine cover and a heart like ice. At first, she pretended to love me, brought me flowers on holidays, hugged me in front of people. But slowly, the mask slipped. She began correcting me at family dinners. Whispering judgments to Michael. Rolling her eyes at anything I said. And worst of all, she hated that Michael still considered me his closest confidant. I should have seen it coming. 6 months before that message, Michael grew distant. Calls became shorter. Meetups became, next time. My birthday passed with only a text. I thought he was stressed from work. But one afternoon, I overheard a conversation when he accidentally called me on video chat while his phone was in his pocket. I heard Rachel's voice. "Your mother is manipulating you. She wants control. She's too involved. We're building our family, not hers. Stand up to her." Then Michael's soft reply. "I know. I'll handle it. I'll set boundaries. A word used by therapists. Or by people who want to justify pushing someone out. I pressed end quietly. My heart was already ending. I told myself I'd let things calm down. Give him space. Until the message arrived. "We've agreed you're no longer part of the family," but I wasn't going to fade away like they expected. Not this mother. Not after 72 years of surviving worse storms. After 2 days of crying, pacing, rereading the message dozens of times, I did something rare. I got angry. Anger clears the mind in a way grief cannot. I realized something. If the whole family agreed, then Rachel had poisoned them against me. But I needed to know what lie she told. So I reached out to the only reasonable one, my eldest granddaughter, Emily, age 27. She didn't reply. Not until 3 days later, when she finally sent. "Grandma, I can't talk to you. It'll cause drama. I'm sorry, drama." That's what love was now. But Emily slipped, because she felt guilty. Her guilt was my entry point. So I called a friend who taught me something precious: sometimes the truth doesn't come to you. You have to dig for it. And dig I did. My neighbor's daughter, Chloe, works at the same community center Rachel attends. One morning she knocked on my door, hesitant. Ashley. I think I overheard something you should know. She told me she'd heard Rachel bragging. Michael finally cut off his mother. She tried to control our finances. She even tried to take the house from us. She's toxic that I felt my lungs freeze. Take their house. I had paid the down payment, control their finances, I never touched a penny. I wasn't toxic. I wasn't controlling. I was simply convenient to blame. Rachel had rewritten history. And Michael swallowed the story whole. That's when something inside me snapped. If they believed lies, then they didn't deserve the truth. But they would deserve what was coming next. Because what they didn't know, what nobody in that family had ever bothered to ask, was that I had spent the last 20 years saving, investing, and quietly building something powerful, a property trust worth nearly $1.4 million. And Michael was legally set to inherit everything. Until now. Grief can turn people into shadows. But betrayal? Betrayal turns shadows into wildfire. I made appointments. Met with lawyers. Reviewed documents. Every signature I placed felt like sealing a coffin. My lawyer asked, "Are you sure, Miss Doherty? These changes are permanent." I didn't blink. If my own son thinks I'm not part of the family, then he will not be part of my legacy. I transferred everything. My savings, my properties, my investment accounts, my retirement funds into an irrevocable trust. With Emily as the sole beneficiary. Not Rachel. Not my son. Not the rest of them. Only the one child who still had a heart soft enough to feel guilt. She wasn't talking to me now. But she would thank me one day. I didn't reply to Michael's message. Silence is more powerful than anger. But I did send him something 1 month later, a letter. Written in my calmest handwriting. It said, "Thank you for clarifying my position in the family. I respect your decision and will no longer attend gatherings or contact you. However, I want you to know I have updated my legal documents accordingly. Please do not worry about me or my affairs. You have made it clear they no longer concern you. Mom." No details. No explanations. Just a quiet promise that a storm was coming. Within hours, he called 20 times. I didn't answer. Funny thing about people who cast you aside. They never expect consequences. 3 months later came Michael's birthday barbecue. I wasn't invited, of course. But Emily, who had grown distant but not cruel, decided to FaceTime me secretly from her room before heading out. "Grandma, I miss you. I don't know what happened. It feels wrong." We smiled, cried a little. And before she hung up, she hesitated. "Mom and Dad think you're planning something." "Are you?" I simply answered. I plan to live my life with the peace they denied me. That was enough suspense for her curious heart. Little did I know, the truth bomb was about to drop. Because at the barbecue, in front of the whole family, a courier arrived holding a packet of documents. Standard procedure after a trust is finalized. Michael opened it casually, thinking it was junk mail. Then he read the first line. Witnesses later told me they'd never seen a man go from red to pale to trembling so fast. Michael screamed, "What did she do?" Rachel grabbed the papers, eyes widening as she read. "All assets transferred, sole beneficiary Emily Rose Doherty," guests whispered. His daughters stared at him. Rachel screamed my name like a curse. "And Emily? Sweet Emily?" She looked stunned and then suddenly understanding. Because she knew I didn't act out of malice. I acted out of love, for the only one who hadn't thrown me away. For weeks, Michael flooded my phone with messages. Mom, please call, we need to talk. You misunderstood, Rachel exaggerated, I didn't mean it. This is unfair, we're still family. Please, please, funny how people remember your family when money enters the conversation. I blocked the number. A week later, he showed up at my house, banging on the door like a madman. Ashley, open this door right now. I didn't move. I watched through the peephole as he slowly realized. He didn't lose my money. He lost me. He broke down crying on my porch. I wished I could say it didn't affect me. But it did. It hurt like ripping old stitches open. But scars don't reopen forever. Eventually, the knocking stopped. And the silence returned. The healthy kind. The peaceful kind. 2 months later, Emily knocked softly on my door. When I opened it, she threw her arms around me, sobbing, Grandma, I didn't know. I didn't know how much they hurt you. And for the first time in many months, I didn't feel alone. We sat at my kitchen table, drinking tea. She asked, Why me? I answered truthfully. Because you never lied to me. You never humiliated me. You never forgot I was human, she sniffed and whispered, I want you in my life. Even if they don't. And just like that, I had a granddaughter again. Not by blood. By choice. Now at 72, I live differently. I garden. I travel with friends. I take dance classes, believe it or not. I laugh more. I breathe more deeply. My home is quieter, but peace has a sound all its own. I learned something powerful, family is not defined by blood. It is defined by behavior. And sometimes, letting someone lose you is the only way to win back yourself. My name is Ashley. I am 72. I have been pushed out, betrayed, lied about, and abandoned. But I did not break. If you're listening to this, remember. You don't owe loyalty to people who weaponize your love. You don't have to accept disrespect because it comes from family. You don't have to stay silent when someone rewrites your story. You are allowed to choose yourself. And sometimes, the greatest revenge is living a life they never expected you to survive without them. And I survived. I thrived. I rose. And they? They are left to drown in the consequences of their own cruelty. Because the moment they told me I was no longer part of the family, I finally realized they were never truly mine to lose.